Yay! I'm gonna try not to be too loud because I heard some feedback when I watched the last video. But yay! I'm live, and I hope my audio's not too horrible. I'm using my computer, and yeah, I am live, and I am new to this. I've been doing YouTube for about 10 years. When I started my channel and started producing content, and I took a long break, like a 10-year break. But I'm back. I'm back, and I hope that you guys can hear and see me clearly. I'm just going to check something really quickly. Awesome Blossom. I think everything is going well. Um, Yay. I think everything's going well. So I'm going to start the video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dan Franklin. I am your media literacy expert. You can also say media literacy guy. And why do I do this? So I love pop culture. It's what I like to do in my passing time. And so, but what's important about when I learn about the news or anything going on, I want to make sure that what I'm talking about has been verified. That's why. And so I come from the HR world originally. And so one of the things that we always say, or we used to say at one of my companies, was trust but verify. And so I always trust what someone's saying, right? But I am going to verify it. And so that's what I do. I make sure that whatever I'm sharing with you has been verified, or if it's not verified by a reliable source, I'm going to make sure that I let you know that this is speculation or whatnot, so that there's no flow in terms of what is actually going on and what is kind of like a rumor. But anyway, I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. So what I'm going to do for the first time, I'm going to give you a virtual hug because you never know what anybody's going through. So let's do our little virtual hug. I get this from Patty Johnson. All right, that felt good. All right, so we're going to talk about a couple of things that were in the news cycle today. And I want to preference this by saying this first story, no, actually, I'm going to talk about another story first. And then let's talk about this first. This first story is being reported. It's speculation, but it is being said that Taylor Swift might be the front runner of the next Super Bowl. So as you know, or I did report, and you may not know, Taylor Swift announced on her boyfriend's podcast, Travis Kelce, that she would be coming out with new music. So we did talk about that. So that's exciting. But with her coming out with new music, a new album, there's also speculation that she's also going to be coming out, be running the Super Bowl. So that's exciting. So the Super Bowl is actually scheduled for February 8th. It'll be now these are things I do know. It's scheduled for February 8th. It'll be in and this is actually Super Bowl 60. The official announcement should be coming out soon. So the official announcement of this stuff will be coming out soon. So why do I think the Super Bowl is more than likely going to have Taylor Swift be the headliner? I personally believe it's to appease their large audience. So over the last few years, with having Jay-Z as the Jay-Z's team, having the conversations or leading the conversations about who they think, hey, thanks for so much for watching, who they think should be the front runner for the Super Bowl in order to meet, the large audience. If you notice, it's been very focused on R&B and rap. Like last year, we had SZA and we had Kendrick Lamar. Years before that, you had Usher, we had Rihanna, we had Dr. Dre. So it's been leaning more in the hip hop R&B vein. But now I think they're trying to grab a larger audience, or just keep this large audience engaged. And I think, who's bigger than Taylor Swift? I would say, and I say this biasly, I'm a huge Beyonce fan, but Beyonce honestly has done the Super Bowl a couple times, so I don't really think she's going to be doing it anytime soon. But I think Taylor Swift is that next big ticket name that they have not had yet. And with everything she's got going on, I think it'll be an awesome time. I do want to shout out, and you can let me know in the comments, what was your favorite Super Bowl performance? So my favorite Super Bowl performance, I'm going to say, and again, I'm a little biased, was probably Beyonce. My first, and she's done the Super Bowl twice. She's done the Super Bowl twice. So one of my favorite, one of my favorite performance was the one she did with Coldplay and Bruno Mars. Any Bruno Mars fans out there? I think Mars is an excellent performer. I think he's one of the best male performers, in my opinion. I think as far as showmanship, I think he's the best performer out right now. I don't think anybody that's out can stand next to Bruno Mars when he performs live. And I really believe that. And as far as a female artist, I think Beyonce is the best living female performer right now. And that's my honest opinion. There was some controversy when she did the Super Bowl with Bruno Mars and Coldplay. There was some symbolism that the wide audience that, watches the Super Bowl felt was like, Black focus. And so there was some outrage over that, but I think that was my favorite one. Another one that I like, and again, this is because I'm a little biased, was the Super Bowl with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. First of all, I'm from Miami, so I was there. I wasn't at the stadium, but I was in Miami at the time of the Super Bowl. And it was really like the energy in Miami was infectious. So like everyone, even at work, we were all gearing up for the Super Bowl weekend, because so many people come into, a city for the Super Bowl. And I was working for Starbucks at the time. And so we were making sure the stores were fully stocked, fully staffed. We actually have a store that's right outside of we had a store, I don't work for them anymore, that was right outside the stadium. And so everybody was like all hands on deck, making sure that store had everything they need, staff, supplies, so that they could, support the crowd that was expected for the Super Bowl. So those were my favorites. I would love to hear what yours are, again, in the comments. I would love to hear. And also, what do you guys think about Taylor Swift being the front runner of the Super Bowl? Do you want to see Taylor Swift, or are you not interested? And if not Taylor Swift, who? And I'm even curious, why do you think that they may be leaning towards an artist like Taylor Swift? So that's a lot of questions, but let's get the discussion started in the comments. I love to see what you guys are thinking, and I love to respond. Okay, this is off topic, but randomly. Would you ever imagine that Nelly... It's all okay, cool. So would you ever imagine that Nelly that is in a relationship currently with what's her name? Ashanti. Do you know that Nelly dated Sharon Stone? Right. I don't know about you, but I'm a little shocked by that. But apparently Sharon Stone has been doing some press. She's written a book, a memoir, and she has been saying that she went on one date with Nelly back in the day. I think, when I heard about this story, I said, out of all the things about the story that I probably would have been interested in, that stood out the most to me. You never know. And this is allegedly, and she did say this in a recent interview. But apparently she went on a date with Nelly. I'm kind of curious how that date might have went. Okay, because all I can think about her is from the movies that I know her from, and I'm just interested. And I wonder if he grew up watching her. I think he's like in his 50s, but like I don't know. Maybe it was like a dream, long date that he wanted to go. It's all about the ratings. So Pat just said, in regards to the Taylor Swift or the Super Bowl performance. It is all about the ratings. I think ratings is king. They say in the content world, content is king. So of course. And like I mentioned, the Super Bowl, it has one of the largest viewing audiences of any primetime, show or thing that's on TV. So it attracts so many people. So yeah, I would not want to be the person making that decision. I mean, some of us, and Matt can contest to this, it's hard to pick who you want to bring to dinner sometimes, right? There's so many different personalities, and it's like, well, who do I invite to dinner tonight? And making sure that there won't be any clashes. So, I mean, to pick an artist for the Super Bowl, man, that's a tricky job. I don't want to be in that position. And all right, so I'm going to keep going, you guys. I'm just spelling out some breaking news and talking about a few topics. If there's anything that you want to hear about, let me know in the comments also, that I can talk about it in my next live or even make a short video for. So let's talk about Sean Kingston. So Sean Kingston has been sentenced. I don't know if you heard about this, but Sean Kingston, do you guys remember the song? It's like, "You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You'll have me suicidal when you say it's over, damn." Anyway, oh God, I hope I'm gonna get a copyright strike for singing that. But yes, Sean Kingston has been sentenced for a fraud and scam case that he was involved with his mom. So apparently they haven't been, he hasn't since his major hit, and that hit had to be, man, I was like in my 20s. I'm not going to tell my full age, but I had to be in my 20s back when that came out. So apparently Sean Kingston and his mother were involved in scams, and they were scamming hundreds of thousands of dollars from these companies. One in particular was a yacht company. They were just basically letting these companies think that they were going to pay for services. I think there was a car involved, and they were basically scamming them. I think there was a private jet involved in this. So anyways, him and his mom have been sentenced. It's crazy to think the things people do, not only to maintain their lifestyle, but to scam other people. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, he has been sentenced. I'll actually make a short or another video where I go into detail about that. I don't want to spend too much time on that today. I want to talk about another thing that's been in the zeitgeist. So I was talking about Tyla. Tyla's another singer. I don't want to sing for you guys, but if you don't know, she had this song. It was a hit maybe a year ago. "Make Me Sweat, Make Me Holla." I'm not going to sing the whole thing, but Tyla put out a new EP. And in the first week, so in the music industry, they track how well your song does that first week. And the new EP only did 3.7 units, 3.7K units. And so from industry standards, that was a flop. Now, if you don't know, Tyla got a lot of criticism. Tyla is from South Africa. Her genre is predominantly Afro beats, but she was gaining a lot of traction in the hip hop, pop sector of the music industry, mainly in the United States of America. Well, as Tyla started to do some press and the public began to engage with her personality, there were some things that some people did not like about Tyla. Specifically, in South Africa, where she's from, they have different class markers, and one of them is called colored. And colored is different from an African that is Black and a descent of African, an African that is multicultural or biracial, and a South African that is white or European descent. And so they had those class markers. Anyway, when she's done some press here in the United States, she mentioned that she identifies as colored. Well, in the United States, when you say you're colored to Black Americans, where at one point during segregation, there were different, restaurants and bathrooms and water faucets, for instance, that said white and coloreds. That has a whole different connotation than what it means in South Africa. And so a lot of people were turned off by that. What it was giving to some people was, not wanting to be associated with Black. And not saying this, I'm not making a statement by saying this, but some people feel that people from cultures, from Africa, from the Caribbean that are, ambiguous or even would be perceived as Black, don't want to be associated with Black Americans because of, some of the beliefs about Black Americans, whether it's like, oh, Black Americans are lazy, whatever. And I'm just sharing what people's beliefs are. These are not my beliefs. I'm just sharing why some people express their concern about this. So when she said that she identifies as colored, they attached that to her not wanting to be associated with Blacks or with Black Americans. And so some people were turned off by that. So what the thinking is the fact that her sales declined due to the fact that she is not connecting with a Black audience, specifically given her music type is Afrobeats, R&B, and that's a predominantly Black American, audience. I don't know. I'm just telling you what is being said about why her album or why this EP might have not done as well as some of the other things. I will add to it, in my opinion, based off what I saw in terms of the marketing for this EP, I really think it's also partly the record company's fault. One of the things when you sign for a record company, they're supposed to back you, make sure that you are getting the press, you're in the right spaces where people know. I don't even think people knew about her EP. I'm going to be honest with you. I knew more about the fact that the EP was a flop than I did she was coming out with an EP. So for me, that says a lot about how marketed this new EP and whether or not people even knew about it. There's more chatter if you look it up about it being a flop than there is about it being good. I also heard the song and it was okay. It didn't really get me that interested in it. So that's my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys think. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I am constantly growing my channel and I really need your support. So help me grow this channel. All you got to do, it's free. You just subscribe to the channel. You can like this video. It's totally free to like it, to let people know I'm live. So if you haven't liked it, just hit that thumbs up button on the screen. And also make sure that you subscribe to my channel because I am actively growing it. And I would love for you to be a part of my journey. Imagine saying one day, oh, thank you for the like. I just got a like. Imagine saying one day, I was there when Daniel started off and when he was live and it was only 6 people on the live. Imagine that. So you get to be a part of my journey. And I really appreciate you for your time and space and just hanging out with me for a little bit. Another story that I want to talk about is Wendy Williams' guardianship. So Wendy Williams has been in a guardianship since, and sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Let me get some water. Wendy Williams' guardianship was initiated in 2022. It was based off Wells Fargo reports that there might have been some mishandling or elderly abuse to her to her accounts. So it was flagged. Again, I see I got 5 viewers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do me a favor and give me a thumbs up. That helps my video get shown to more people and lets the system know that people are enjoying the content that I'm sharing with you. I really appreciate your support. So back to Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams has been vocal in recent time. She's done an interview on The Breakfast Club. She's even talked on TMZ about the fact that she doesn't feel like she needs to be in a conservatorship. Thank you so much. I see someone liked the video. Thank you so much for the like. I really appreciate it. Wendy Williams is saying, I'm not incapacitated and I shouldn't be in a conservatorship. And so there's been a lot of actually movement hashtag free Wendy. So Wendy has recently, however, Sabrina Morrison, who is over her guardianship, has not publicly spoken out about why Wendy is in this guardianship. So as Wendy is being some traction, because people are starting to question the legitimacy of the fact that she's in a conservatorship, right? Like, why is she even in a conservatorship if she's saying, I don't need to be in this? More importantly, Wendy Williams has family. She has a sister who happens to be an attorney in Miami. If Wendy Williams has family, oh, I forgot to mention her niece is a news anchor on Channel 10 in Miami, which is a major news station in Miami, Florida. If she has all the support around her, why is it that they went without seeing if anybody in her family was interested in, overseeing her finances or being involved in a conservatorship, and they appointed a court-appointed person who doesn't know Wendy, who has no relationship to Wendy? And Wendy has expressed feelings, allegedly, of feeling like she's being neglected and that her funds are being mishandled and that she's not being treated fairly. Well, it has been reported by TMZ and People magazine that Wendy Williams recently undergone a psychological evaluation where they tested her on her cognitive abilities as well as brain wave scan evaluations. And they confirmed due to this, recent evaluation that she does have temporal aphasia, which is a form of dementia that's induced due to alcoholism. Now, this is what has been reported by TMZ and People allegedly. These are my concerns, and so that is what was confirmed. Oh, hold on. I do want to say, I want to get all the facts related to this out before I talk about my own opinion. Nope. So this was then presented in the court law, and the judge then, based off that recent medical evaluation and the request by Sabrina Morrison, Wendy's current overseer of her overseeing her guardianship was extended to November 5th, 2025. Now, if you have not seen Wendy, you can definitely see a decline in her ability to communicate, and it's obvious when she speaks. There's something going on with Wendy. There's something that's different compared to when we saw her on her show when it went off the air, right? And if you were able to see, make sure you guys, if you haven't already, please like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like. It's totally free to like this video. Thank you so much for your support. When I saw the Wendy Williams documentary that was on A&E, I believe that it was filmed with Lifetime, right? It was obvious, Wendy Williams was there with her wig off. If you're someone that watched Wendy Williams for reals for years, one, you knew she wore a wig. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and you subscribe to the channel. Thank you. I'm growing and I need your support. It was obvious something was wrong with Wendy, or that Wendy changed. Her physical appearance changed, and even the way she communicated changed. It was obvious. The concern that a lot of viewers had, if Wendy has family that is willing and able to jump in and support her during this medical crisis that she, quote unquote, is having allegedly, why aren't they being given the opportunity to be involved? Why are they being shut out? And they have expressed this over and over again. So for me, from looking at my personal opinion, the situation looks suspect. It just looks very strange that I would think that a guardian, or if the courts were doing what's best for Wendy Williams, that they would want her to be around her family and supported by her family. I just want to share, because I know a little bit about dementia, because I had a family member who suffered from dementia, which is different from aphasia, but they have similar symptoms and outcomes. the more that person's isolated from family members and things they're familiar with, the more they can mentally decline. It actually, there's science that shows that they rapidly decline worse when they're not around family. So if you put someone in a home versus someone that stays with family, the decline in their cognitive ability is rapidly different. It doesn't mean they won't decline, but it doesn't progress as quickly. So I really do feel like Wendy's not being set up for success as far as her health. She's not being given the best health outcome by being separated from her family, and that really breaks my heart. And if you were watching, if you've ever been around someone with dementia, it's heartbreaking to watch this person deteriorate and really not know what's going on, and you have to adjust and be patient to their new experience. So my prayers, send a prayer for Wendy Williams and her family. And that has to be horrible to feel like you can't do something for your family. So I just wanted to express how I felt about that, but that is the current legal situation. Again, the guardianship has been extended to November 5th. So I think that at that time, they'll revisit the case and they will decide on the next course of action. But she's still under a guardianship. But there is a public outrage, hashtag free Wendy. And I'm definitely with that. I definitely think Wendy needs the support and the family needs support. All right, so that's I'm off my little soapbox about Wendy Williams. I do want to talk really quickly about Shakira Richardson. Oh my God, am I saying her name right? And y'all have to forgive me. I'm dyslexic and I'm blind and I'm old. So I was saying, I did a short about this. I want to preference the difference. I'm going to give my opinion a little bit. I've always thought she was a little hood. And there's nothing wrong with being a little hood or being hood. But when I saw this story, I was not shocked. She has long nails. And so apparently, I'm going to put some chapstick on. So apparently, she was in the airport. I believe she was in Seattle at the airport there. And she got into a physical altercation. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. She was apparently in a physical altercation with her boyfriend in the airport. Now, anybody that travels now, you got to know this. There are cameras everywhere. There's also technology now that recognizes your face. So when you go into government buildings, public spaces, not only are you being recorded by a camera, but you are being recorded by top-notch technology where there actually is face recognition technology that they know exactly where they are at all times. So if you are going to go to an airport and you're going to break the law, you're better than me. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. So the fact that she didn't have the common sense to know that, or even the temperance to know, like, oh, I could possibly be arrested or seen. I mean, she literally is an Olympic medal winner. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please give a thumbs up to the video and subscribe to the channel. We're growing. It's totally free to like. It helps my channel grow. And also, I love all the support. Thank you so much. We're talking about Shakira Richardson, the Olympics winner who recently got arrested. Anyway, I'm really shocked that she did not have the common sense to know not only are you a public figure, you're an Olympic gold medal winner, and you are fighting and assaulting a boyfriend in a public space. Let's start with this. Keep your hands to yourself. There's no reason for anybody to be putting their hands on anybody. That's, first of all, use your words. And sometimes you don't even need to use your words. Like, some things are just not even worth addressing. But in the video, so the police were there and they interviewed her because there were not only the surveillance camera footage, but there were also bystanders that told the police, hey, this young lady put her hands on this guy. She then proceeded to basically lie to them and say, like, she didn't put her hands on him. And they were like, yeah, well, not only do we have footage of it, but there are people that here in the airport that are saying that they well, at any rate, she eventually admitted to it, and she commented. I'm going to just read some of the things that I put down as notes. She mentioned that she believes she did this due to past traumas. So basically, she's saying that whatever she's been through in the past, in regards to being in relationships, that's why she did that. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Um, Go ahead and thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed. I'm constantly building my page and my channel, so I would love your support. Thank you so much for supporting me. And so, long story short, she did get in trouble for this. And so the guy, I do want to preference this, he decided not to press charges, but because there were eyewitnesses and there was camera footage, I mean, it's a battery charge. And so she said she's going to get help. And she said she's very remorseful, but I just don't understand how someone of her caliber and what she's accomplished and who she is in the world would do something like that. Given that people already had a context about her and how her appearance and how she may have conducted herself. So I'm sorry to see that, but it is what it is, and we wish her well. I hope that everything works out with her, and more importantly, that she keeps her hands to herself. You guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. This is my first live. Believe it or not, I'm super nervous. But and I've been trying to make sure that I was staying on task with my stories. But I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I'm interested in building a community. Like I said, I'm going to make sure that I vet this information before I share it with you. And then I'm going to distinguish. A lot of people out there that we follow won't distinguish their opinion versus what the actual facts are to a story. And that's what's different about my page and what I'm doing here. I'm making sure before I talk about a case, I've read the court transcripts if they're available, in order to actually have the facts and not just share my opinion. And then when I share my opinion, I'm making sure I'm distinguishing that is my opinion versus this is what happened in the story. And that's what sets my page and what I'm doing apart. That's why it says verified by Dan, because I'm verifying what I'm talking about. But again, I thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for letting me be in your home, in your car, at work, wherever you're watching me from. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Make sure that you like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll definitely see you next time. My goal is to do this every day, God willing. Thanks again. See you next time. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get out of here because I'm new. Shout out to Pat. Shout out to my Pat for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. And shout out to all my subscribers. If you're in here, thank you so much for watching. I love you. And that's all, folks. Let me see. How do I get out of here? I did this before. Okay, there we go. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for watching. Love you.